How would you like your career to be a soul-sucking experience? You know, even for some of the most successful chiropractors out there, even some of the most successful maximized living chiropractors out there, it is. And the reason is simple. If you're not making a true difference in somebody's life, then it's unfulfilling. Every adjustment you make where somebody hasn't changed their thinking, hasn't changed their lifestyle, doesn't understand chiropractic, and isn't committed to it long term, every one of those adjustments sucks some of the soul out of you, diminishes your energy, and you start moving closer and closer to burning out and just not loving what you do. You want to love what you do. At the peak of my career, when I was focused in full-time practice, if there was one thing I wanted to do, whether it was my birthday, whether it was a Monday, whether it was any day, I wanted to go to my office and see my family, see my patients, because the mass majority of them were really making the change. They were committed. That was the secret to all the thousands a week that I was seeing, was the simple fact that people were truly committed long term. Their lives had changed, they were thankful, and they were real followers of the maximized living way of life. So how do you do that? Well, I think first of all, you just got to be honest with yourself. What percentage of your patients would you say you really are making a difference in their lives? You could be seeing lots of volume and making lots of money, but if people aren't changing, then it's not fulfilling. So you got to really ask yourself, really thoroughly evaluate how many people are truly engaged. If you look in your crystal ball and look 5 years forward, how many people do you see still in your office in the next 5 years? And not only see them there, but see them transformed as a result of being there. That's the question. So we have to change people's thinking, we have to change their habits, we have to change their lifestyle, and as a result, we change their destiny. Well, one of the most destiny-producing things we have is your education and outreach calendar. That marketing calendar we've put together for you. That is designed to take any type of patient and turn them into a warrior for maximized living. Turn them into somebody who truly is experiencing change and will be here long-term and be transformed as a result. So we've put even more effort in, starting this month, into your calendar. First of all, we're thankful to have Dr. David Yochter begin heading up that process. Dr. David, for year after year after year, has took all of his events and made them a blockbuster event. That there's no event that, well, it's just the event for the week or the event for the month. Each is a blockbuster. He typically puts over 100 people in these events and has the vast majority of his patients going to them. In fact, the whole office sort of wraps around this marketing calendar. And so as we give you tips, David will be helping you lead. Now, what are we going to give you in your toolkit? Well, first of all, there's the theme of the month. Something cutting edge, something people are interested in, something that's exciting, something that's going to be of note to the community and the partners that you have. Partners are going to want to get involved. In fact, I see you not only doing the event in your clinic, but for lots of other places, churches, businesses, health food stores, you name it, because the topics are that desirable. You're going to have, in addition to those themes, you're going to have a timeline. Here's when you should get the things out, and those things are things like social media. Here's all the things you should be putting on your Facebook, your Twitter account, the things you should be blogging. Here are the articles based on these topics and themes you should be passing out. Here are the various discount coupons for the different products, the resources that support the topic. There's the posters, all the things that are necessary to promote this thing in the office. And so if you'll just follow this calendar, I'll tell you, our really highly successful doctors always say the same thing once we start getting them coaching. So you've noticed we've added probably 30 people to the coaching staff that are helping to lead you and be a resource for you as one of the ML doctors. And what they always say when they start helping us coach is, if they would just do it, if the guys would just do the programs, they'd have the success if they would just follow the calendar. And so, just do it. Follow the calendar, trust it. Now, of course, get your CAs involved. You should have a 5 essential CA that's leading this thing, who's helping put all of this together, get it out on time, making sure the thing is successful, who's helping to lead the meetings each week that you're having to make sure you're hitting your goals and you're on point to getting your numbers of both patients and their guests and the people that are coming in from your partners. And so make sure you lean on the CAs. Let a CA lead it, empower them to be a leader, a driving force in healthcare within your clinic. So I just have two questions for you that I want you to consider in closing out here. One is, if you as a practitioner do these things in the calendar, what's going to happen? This is question number one. Well, you're going to see patients transform and your office get better. So I don't understand why you wouldn't do it. But the second question is, if you don't do it, what happens to the world? And I always ask that second question. I found most people are really focused on what's it going to do just for them and their practice. And the cool thing is that everything we offer you at Maximize Living always helps you and your practice, your patients, and your community. But the second question you should be asking yourself, and hopefully this creates an even bigger why for you as well, is what's going to happen to the world if you don't? If we do this together, if we follow this marketing calendar together, then you can see things like, for example, when we do it with a makeover, we on an average do 7,000 to 10,000 people on a makeover weekend. 7,000 to 10,000, several times a year. Of course, that's only a fraction of our doctors doing that. If we all were following this marketing calendar, there's 400 Maximize Living doctors. If we were all following this marketing calendar, we would easily be doing between 20 and 25,000 people for every one of these programs, and upwards of 30 to 40,000 for makeovers. We'd be reaching hundreds of thousands of people together. So where in your office you can make a difference for an individual, together we can truly make a difference. So when we talk about changing the world, like we've been talking about for years and years at Maximize Living, we talk about changing healthcare, this is it. It's the marketing calendar. If we all do it together, then we are changing the world. We will have reached hundreds of thousands of people this year. Lastly, I'll just say this. If you are asking yourself the question, what about the world? What about our profession? What about the bigger picture here? Realize that your other chiropractors around you and around the country are really struggling. They don't have an outreach calendar like this. They're not certified in 5 Essentials. They don't have this kind of program. Just this past week, I visited 2 chiropractic colleges. And there are always pockets of people doing well, but as a whole, these students are not headed in the right direction or a very good one. It's a very limited one. They don't see themselves with a powerful, positive future. They see themselves playing a very limited role in healthcare underneath medicine as part of more the LMT, PT, ATC world. So we need your help. So as we go to change your office, ask yourself the question about what about changing the world, and then think about the fact that you got to get people to Maximize Living. Whether it's to have them talk to one of us, one of our coaches through a practice evaluation, whether it's a student that just needs to get connected, you've got to reach out. They asked a number of authors in the London Daily Mail to write in what's wrong with the world, and the famous G.K. Chesterton said, "I am." He took responsibility. So please, we ask you, take responsibility. Individually we don't get a lot done, but responsible people together can do a whole lot and in fact change the world.